Hey guys, it's Putty for the Rustafied official servers here with a quick overview of this Thursday's update. The Rust team has made some tweaks and changes to Rust this week. After last week's monumental revamp of the component system, we are seeing some incremental changes to this new system this week. You can now build water purifiers and stone spears by default, and any blueprint you have in your Steam inventory. You know the deployables that clutter up the Rust landscape? Well, Hulk has decided to remove some of these from barrels and replace them with the items BP. You can also now pick up any movable prop if it's not in a building blocked area. There has also been a slight decrease in the required amount of scrap to research guitars, planters, hoodies, and ceiling lights. Oh, and recycling broken items will now yield a minimum of 10% of the resources back. The workbench is seeing some quality of life improvements. You can now rotate it, and its building radius has been tripled in size. There has also been talk about improving the time it takes to craft items in the future. Some map updates have been made. You will now see a grid system over top of your map that can be toggled on and off. There has also been an addition to the tooltips for vending machines. Vending machines will now display whether or not it is a blueprint or an item being sold in it. You can now also see the crash site for the helicopter and the Bradley. You can see this information on the map for up to 10 minutes after its destruction. Some lower tier lighting has seen a slight buff. The Tunican light and the lantern now give off a slightly brighter glow. There's been some changes to rad towns. Rad suits will no longer block out 100% of the radiation in areas where there is high level loot. Speaking of high level loot, respawn time for these areas have been increased from 20 minutes to 2 hours. This should help curb the number of guns making their way into the game. And lastly, the Bradley has seen a number of changes. It now spawns less frequently and starts to heal itself after 10 minutes. And there's also been a reduction in the number of ammo and rockets it will drop in its crates. Some smaller things you'll be noticing in this update: satchel charges are less likely to be a dud. You will now receive less high quality metal from mining the remains of the Bradley or the helicopter. The peacekeeping mode has been fixed on auto turrets. The flamethrower now requires a level 2 workbench to craft. The candle hat is back to normal and should only produce a small amount of light. The loot tables for the cave have been altered. Expect more stone tools, less mining hats, and less high quality metal. Finally, the boonie hat, the bandana, and the baseball cap will now give some armor protection over their burlap counterparts. That's a summary of the significant changes coming to Rust this week. I'm Putty and thanks for watching. If you want to know more about this update or any other update, subscribe to the channel or head over to rustafied.com. And don't forget to check us out on the Rustafied official servers.